Unfortunately, I couldn't go see the Marvels due to the fact I have fucking standards. So instead of seeing Captain Flatass, I went to see everyone's favourite asshat, Nicolas Cage, do another quirky indie film, the 982nd film this year, in fact. Some say Nicolas Cage is a genius, a maverick, an unappreciated talent. Others a broke, debt-riddled sociopath. To one and all, I say he is both and so much more. Nicolas Cage is a national treasure, an army of one, someone who through the looking glass is between worlds, an outcast who has stolen 1,000 words. Someone who can kick ass with G-force, primal, wild at heart, who could be gone in 60 seconds or in a flash. An actor of the old way who holds an unbearable weight of massive talent. An inconceivable jiu-jitsu pig with a score to settle, seeking justice against the matchstick men. Nicolas Cage stars in the new Nightmare on Elm Street movie, Dream Scenario. Nicolas steals the role from Robert Englund after producers believed that TikTokers no longer found Freddy scary since his transition into an animatronic bear. Producers believe that Nicolas Cage entering your dreams is a far terrifying proposition to Gen Z, and having watched this movie, I wish Nicolas Cage would continue to horrifically murder and traumatize that generation for the rest of time. Freddy, who has changed his identity to Paul Matthews, now has been allowed back into school as part of a D&I program for reformed pedos, which sounds like a modern-day Californian policy, and instead of killing kids, he's killing them with boredom on lectures about evolutionary biology. Freddy is a woke, insecure, milquetoast man who is a lingering want for attention, fame, and appreciation. Freddy then breaks his parole and starts appearing in random people's dreams around the world. At first just a perv, and later returning to murder and kill everyone in brutal ways. Some people just never change.
I am a bad man.
As a result, Freddy gets cancelled, abused, and vilified, claiming it wasn't his fault. But Freddy, we've already seen all 8,000 Nightmare on Elm Street movies. We know it's your fault. But seriously, serious faces on, guys. This is a story about a man who becomes famous and has it all taken away and loses everything for something he never had control over or ever really did. The way his wife, his class, the general public treats him, by assuming due to the nightmares, he is in fact also an evil person in real life, and not the true reality that it was just a dream, is scarily accurate to the mob mentality of modern day and the irrational mindset that plagues society and the newer generation of prioritizing feelings over facts. This is a satire which works for most of its runtime. In fact, the film is superb up until its final act. It then goes off the deep end and it's on-the-nose satire against influencers, Gen Z, and cancel culture. It is a very funny movie, and there are some extremely bizarre scenes, such as Nicolas Cage's cum fart. Yes, cum fart. Nick Cage has one-upped DiCaprio getting spanked with a paddle within the space of 3 weeks. So, like Killers of the Flower Moon's paddle scene, Nick Cage's cum fart is the reason to see this movie. It was apparently reported that when Nicolas Cage was asked to perform a notoriously embarrassing scene for the movie, that he asked the director if he thought he was a performing monkey, to which the director said, yes you are, Nick, and Nicolas Cage promptly replied, ooh, ooh, ah, ah, give me banana, to which the director then said, no, Nick, you can't have bananas, it makes you impulsive with your spending, and you need to use the small lump of change we threw in your begging cup to pay off your soul-crushing debt. Nick Cage gives his most cagiest performance yet, and actually it's one of his best ever, and definitely his best since The Amazing Mandy. I never thought I would say that Cage's performance is nuanced and perfectly stated, but here I am. His chemistry with the wife, played by Julianne Nicholson, is probably the best husband-wife chemistry I've seen in a long time. They perfectly match and bounce off each other and give the sharp writing its full weight and attention. Yes, the writing is really, really good up until the final act. It's extremely on point, witty, and with the excellent performances, really draws you so far into this modern tragedy that you forget you are watching a Nick Cage movie. It's also really well directed and edited. The movie is just really damn sharp until the conclusion. It makes you laugh, and it moves at a great pace for most of the film. A particular highlight being his attendance at an apartment belonging to an assistant to the agency he pairs up with to exploit his newfound fame. For a movie about dreams and nightmares, though, it certainly doesn't explore them in any hugely creative ways, which is a real shame for a Nightmare on Elm Street reboot. Perhaps in the sequel, they'll be able to give us some nightmarish scenarios that make us scream and cry in terror, like 4 More Years of Biden or Sex with Mark Zuckerberg. The music is whimsical and comedic in its effect. It's an orchestral score that just highlights the madness and craziness in scenes in small doses. It's effective, and most of the time just slightly elevates the scenes without ever drawing close attention to it. The message about cancel culture lands for the most part, but the bleakness of what happens to Nick Cage's character can be tough to swallow, and left me feeling a bit annoyed at its conclusion, given it was so close to the bone to real life. None more so when Cage's character gives an unnecessary apology against his will, and for that, like all apologies do for the woke mob, it backfires. For a comedy, these parts weren't something that you ended up laughing at, and almost it was something to despair, which in hindsight probably means the director and writer did their jobs well. Dream Scenario is the best Nick Cage cult recruitment film yet. I have already pledged my life to the cult of Cage, and are now due to transfer my life savings to Vikram for investment into future Cage projects, like his upcoming movie Bugs, where he plays everyone's favourite lizard man Klaus Schwab as he, through the medium of interpretive dance, explains how we will all own nothing and be happy. All hail God Emperor Cage. If you like watching Nicolas Cage murder Gen Z TikTokers, then this film is for you. If you think lived experience and safe space are real words, then maybe give this a miss. Ultimately though, this is one of the best films of the year. So instead of going to see Captain Marvel, this woman, and whoever the fuck that is, go cozy up to some Nick Cage madness and enjoy watching him prematurely ejaculate and fart at the same time. Perfect winter viewing.
Dream Scenario is a masterpiece.
Also go watch Mandy, it's really fucking good.